Hello, today's topic is going to be on partial payments. What I mean by that is when we take out a simple interest loan, or actually a loan in any format. This is actually how our loans are handled. What happens when we make those payments ahead of time? So when you have your car loan and you send in your $500 payment, what steps does the bank go through? After the Truth in Lending Act, I believe that's what it was, the federal government realized that the banks weren't always being kind to people. So when people would send in partial payments, it wasn't helping them save money on their interest, which is what it should do. If you put money in early, you should bring your interest amount down. So the federal government did step in and make sure that banks do follow that process for us. To see how this partial payment works, I'm going to go through a pretty elaborate problem. Only one, because I'm going to put in a few extra payments, so hopefully this will help you. I do have a written up example as well in Blackboard. Hopefully this wording and watching me go through it works as well. So let's say we have, and I'll just say you, have a, let's just go $1,200 loan at 5% for 250 days. All right, and let's say on day 50 you send in a $200 payment. Let's say on day 90 you send in a $100 payment. Let's go on day 150. You send in a $300 payment. We'll do one more payment. And on day, let's go to 25. You send in another $300 payment. Okay, so far we have sent in $900, so obviously we have not paid it off. So let's find out how much is still owed on day 250, which would be that maturity date. And also, just to make sure, by sending in these payments, we should ask ourselves, how much did we save? By making those payments. Because that's always a question we need to have, is when we get money, what do we do with it? Do we put it on loans? Do we pay it? Do we invest it? And those are questions that you need to start asking. So first we'll go through this, and as we explain it, we'll talk about some of those options. And maybe more so when we hit chapter 12. So I'm going to kind of put a number line on here. So here's day 1. So that's when we take out and we're borrowing this money. So we borrow that $1,200. And we're going to go a long time. Boom. Here comes day 50. And we send in our payment. And I'm going to abbreviate payment as PMT, and that was my $200 payment. Okay? What's going to happen to that money is it's going to go to the bank, and the bank is basically going to pay themselves first. So they pay themselves by calculating the interest. How much do you owe them for that money? Well, the thing is you have borrowed Again, interest is I equals PRT. So that $1,200, the rate we had was 5%, so 0.05. And we are going to be timed. Now, they can only charge you interest right now up to that point. So you're going to be paying for the 50 days that you took out this loan for. To make this problem easier, we're going to use ordinary interest. You could use exact, but for this example, we'll use ordinary. Not that it really matters a whole lot, except here, ordinary is 360. If we were using exact, we'd use 365. So I'm going to take and calculate that interest. So my 1,200 and I get $8.33. Okay, and this is going to go to the bank. They take that money and they probably go loan it to somebody else. And where it's coming from is it's coming from your $200. So you take that $200 payment that you took in, and they are going to take that $8.33, which means you have $191.67 left of your payment to go towards the loan. Go towards loan. Our loan was for $1,200, but we're going to take off that $191.67. And we see that we have 1008.33. This is sometimes referred to as the adjusted balance. I like to think of it as the amount we still owe. Amount still owed on day 50. Okay, so that happened to our payment to $200. $833 went to the bank. $197 brought our loan down to $1,008.33. Time goes on until I hit day 90. And on day 90, we made a payment of $100. And now the whole thing is going to happen all over again. So the bank gets our money. It's like, oh, they're sending me money. I can take my part. So I equals PRT. However, the P has changed. This is where the government stepped in and said, hey, you need to bring that money down. So instead of the $1,200, we are now going to use that $1,008.33. Interest rate has changed. Now the time is only the amount of time that has gone on. We've already paid for these $50. We did that right here. So we just need to pay interest for this time from day 50 to day 90, which is 40 more days. So I'm going to calculate that. So 1008.33. And I get $5.60 if I round to the nearest penny. That's going to go to the bank. So out of my $100 payment, they are going to take $5.60. So this goes to the bank. And we're left with $94.40 to go on the loan. And so our loan was down to $1,008.33. We're going to take off that $94.40. And we're now down to $913.93. It's left on the loan, or that adjusted balance. Hopefully my dog's barking doesn't get to us too much. All right. Time goes on. Time goes to a whole long time. So we go to day 150. and we send in a payment of $300. And we're going to do this all over again. So I'm going to cover up my previous work so I don't lose my timeline here. All right, so on day 150, that $300 loan payment comes in, and the bank says, ooh, goody, I get money. And so I equals PRT, I want my portion. P is the amount we had left. So 913.93 times my interest rate, 0.05, and time. So again, the time from here to here, because this is all paid for. So day 90 to day 150, that is 60 days. Out of my 360, we calculate this piece. And we get 762. So that's going to the bank. To bank. Where is it coming from? Out of our payment. So out of our payment comes that 762, which means I have $292.38 to go to the loan. So to loan. My loan was at $913.93. We're paying $292.38, which means my loan is now at $621.55. There's our adjusted balance. And this happens every time you put in make a payment. All right, so day 150, check came in, bank took its portion, the rest went on your loan, brought your loan down. Time goes on until I hit day 225, and we sent in another $300 payment. All right, so again, the bank is happy. I equals PRT. They're getting paid. The principal is now down to $621. Except they're not real happy because they're not getting as much as they did before. Because the interest is only being charged on what you owe them. No longer that $1,200. Okay, time. The difference between 150 and 225. That would be 75 days, 360, because we are using ordinary interest. All right, multiplying these guys all together very slowly, I get 647. That's going to the bank. They get the interest. Where's it coming from? My payment. My payment of $300, $647, which means I have most of my check left. $293.53 is going to go on the loan. My loan was $621.55. We're bringing it down by $293.53. Thank goodness for calculators. I get $328.02. All right, well that's the last payment I made, but I still owe money. So what's going to happen is time does go on, and it's eventually going to hit that maturity day. And that, for this problem, was day 250, because we took our loan out for 250 days. And on that day, you need to go in and pay this loan off. So you're going to need to pay this guy off, plus, of course, the bank wants its interest. So the first thing you're going to do, of course, is calculate the interest. So I equals PRT. The P is at 328.02, The interest rate is 0.05. Time is the last 25 days. Everything else has been paid for with all the other little bits of interest that you took out. So we're going to be taking that 25 days, 360. So 328.02 times 0.05. And I get $1.14, rounded to the nearest penny. So on the very last day, you're going to come in. You're going to pay $328.02 plus this $1.14, or you're going to owe them still $329.16. There we go. So that's how all the payments work when you pay on your loans. I did ask a separate question, how much are we going to save? Because if we're not saving money, why give them anything until the very end? To figure that out, what we're going to do is assume that we didn't make any payments. Okay? And we're going to, basically, the only place we're making any savings is in that interest. So I'm going to calculate the interest as if I hadn't made any payments. So our original P was at $1,200. The interest rate is at 0.05. The entire loan was 250 days. So if I hadn't made any payments, I would have owed them, give me a minute here to punch in my buttons, $41.67 in interest. Okay, so that's how much I would have paid. By making the payments, we paid in interest. So I'm going to go back to all of our work and find all my interest pieces. So I'm going to go back into the very first interest. I paid $8.33. Then the next one was $5.60. I had a $7.62. I had a $6.47. And don't forget that last $1.14 we ended up paying. So 8.33, add these guys all up. And I get $29.16. So the difference is what we saved. So we saved only $12.51. So this is where you have to start making decisions and making guesses and figuring out what you want to do. So yes, we saved $12.51. That's not a whole lot to some people. To other people, that is a lot, because you could take that $12.51 and invest it. The question becomes, is we sent in a $200 payment, a $100 payment, a $300 payment. The problem becomes is how hard was it to come up with those payments? Would it have been easier on us to wait, pay the little bit extra, the $12.51, and not have made those payments as we go through? I tell students one way to save money that's usually very easy to do is when you have a loan, always round up to the next dollar amount or the next $5 amount or the next $10 amount and make those slightly larger payments. Because, if you go back to our work, here was our payment. This isn't going to change, that $8.33. So if we had sent in a $1,000 payment, a $300 payment, a $6 payment, that $8.33 does not change. What changes is how much you send in. That amount can change. If you can make this bigger, this is going to be bigger, which is going to bring down your loan faster, which is going to allow you to save more money faster. So hopefully that helps a little bit. and makes you start thinking about some of those choices when we have those money decisions. If you have any questions about any of that, feel free to contact me. I'd be more than willing to discuss some of those ideas with you. I will see you in our next video, which we are going to start looking at something that doesn't normally happen in the real world for you and I, but it does happen in the business world. So we are going to look at the discounting process and how we calculate proceeds.